a breakthrough like you did for Job and the woman in the Bible days. Restore to me the joy that I once knew. Like you did for Job in the Bible days. Let my light be greater than my past. Oh, let it be greater than my past, Lord. Lord, make me whole. I want all that you have for me. I want my joy. I want my peace. Do it for me, Lord. Restore to me the joy. Restore to me the joy. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Oh, I need your hold. That everything is gonna go the way I need it to go. The peace that passeth all understanding. Restore to me. Restore, heal, and deliver. Oh, that is mine. That is mine.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We got more hits for you, so stay tuned.
Look at my life now, day after day. I'm a living testimony. I was lost until you found me. And then you gave me a reason to believe I can make it through the night. And everything will be alright now. Yeah. Idimu manopi mo, imeremu ifoma, ndadimu Jehovah me. Idimu manopi mo, imeremu ifoma, ndadimu Jehovah me. Papa na you, Jesus na you. You dey make me one day silence they go. Papa na you, Jesus na you. You dey make me one day. Everybody, everybody sing. Silence they go. Yeah, silence they go. Everybody dance. Silence, let's go now. It's a brand new melody. talk today. I can never say so. If I start to count the ways, I can never count so. Make my nights a brighter day. And I'll forever sing your praises.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How do you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet.
Hi, this is Yesse Leva, host of Yes with Yesse. Join me every Thursday at 6 p.m. for information, resources, and services available to individuals with disabilities in our community.
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Join us daily for Gospel Morning. Great gospel music, inspiring life features, awesome verses from God's Word. We chat with some of your favorite gospel artists, gospel classics, new gospel music news, information, and so much more. 8 a.m. until 12 noon Eastern Time weekdays. It's Gospel Mornings, a different kind of morning show, exclusively here on Black Gospel Radio. No repeat workday, no chatter, just gospel all the time. Join us weekdays, 8 a.m. until 12 noon Eastern Time. Don't miss it. Download the free TuneIn Radio app, the free Live 365 app, or find us at live365.com or stream gospelmusic.com. We're the internet's best for gospel music, Black Gospel Radio.
Hey, this is Kirk Frank. What's up, everybody? This is Donald Lawrence.
Hello, this is Twinkie Clark.
Hi there, this is Yolanda Adams.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dion Kipping.
And we're playing their music on the internet's all-gospel music radio station.
Thanks for listening to New Season Gospel FM, your number one gospel station.
It is time for Yes with Yesse. Please welcome your host, Yesenia Leva.
Yes, with Yesse here with you guys. We are starting a little bit later, but that's okay. Hope everyone is having an awesome night and evening, morning, wherever you are listening from. If you are there on the other side of the screen, let me know that you are there. Let me know that you can hear me and that we are good to go, good to go. I see you guys coming on. Appreciate you guys coming on. So, again, just let me know that you're there so I know that you can hear me and we are good to go. All right. Again, welcome to Yes with Yesse, just a platform here where we come together and talk about all things disability, community, and education on what is available for me, what is available to those of different disabilities out there in government-related benefits, state benefits, and all these different things that are available. As we often hear, we should never perish, rather, from a lack of knowledge, which is why New Season Gospel FM exists, and Yes with Yesse exists to make sure that we have the knowledge that we need in order to be our best self and live our best life, right? So that's what we are all about. And a little bit later in the show, I'll give you guys more information of services and different things that are available to you, to the community, and even those all around the world, because it is across the board, right? I know that a lot of people need these services across the board. It's just adapting. It's a matter of adapting to where you are and your requirements, information, and so on and so forth, right? So it is something that is definitely available, and we'll talk about it. In the meantime, today, what I want to talk to you guys about is something that we're all going to get there. We are all going to get there. We are all going to use these one or two services one way or another, or at some point in our lives. Some of us are already taking advantage of the service and using it, right? I always refer it to, when I hear that there is some kind of shame in obtaining a service or a benefit, I'm like, it's hard for me now because I'm good with it and I've accepted it and so on. It's hard for me to be like, why would you not want to receive this, or why would you not want to take advantage of this, right? And so we'll have to think about their process, the process that person is going through mentally and emotionally, psychologically, until they get to that point where they're all right with receiving this particular benefit. And so now that I am where I am in my life and in my, in everything, now I understand that all things work together for the good, right? All things work together for good and for those that are called according to God's purpose. And so that these things are not there to harm you, but they are there to help you. And people like myself and service providers are here to help you to apply for these things, to help you live the best life that you can, right? To the best of your ability. And I remember always remember, I used to be this big fan of I have to be independent. And I learned that it's not about being independent. It's not about doing things completely on your own. It's about being interdependent with community, with your surroundings, with the people that you do life with, and the resources that are available to you. And this is one of them. If it's not one of them, it's going to be one of them. And so let's start early in educating ourselves and knowing do's and don'ts, the differences and the similarities, so that we are ahead of the game when we go into applying for I'm talking about these particular benefits today, but any benefit that we talk about, here on Yes with Yesse. So interestingly enough, as I'm, preparing to speak about these topics, I had a couple phone calls today specifically related to what we're going to talk about. And one thing had nothing to do with the other, but it comes to show, it was proof that the information is necessary and that people need to learn this information. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Medicare and Medicaid. So the difference and the similarities between Medicare and Medicaid. We have talked about Social Security Disability, SSI. We've touched on some of the income restrictions with all of these programs, Medicare, Medicaid, and all that good stuff. But a lot of times we don't know deeper requirements to qualify for Medicare and Medicaid. I'm 40 years old. What do I qualify? Do I qualify for Medicaid? Do I qualify for Medicare? Do you qualify for either one if you were born with a disability? Do you qualify for either one if you became disabled or injured later in life? Those are the kind of things or the kind of questions that come up when I get a phone call, when I get information, or when I get asked information rather on these benefits, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about and discuss the differences of Medicare versus Medicaid. And the differences of these two things really vary on a couple things. They vary on the state that you live in, number one. First and foremost, that's the main thing. They vary on the state that you live in, right? So we're going to talk about Florida because we're in Florida right now. We're going to talk about Florida Medicaid versus Medicare, right? One's a state program, one is a federal funded program. And so Medicare is the one that is federally funded. The money comes from the government, okay? So Medicare is federally funded health insurance, which is primarily for the elderly, seniors, mainly over the age of 65, and certain, keyword, certain individuals with disabilities, or as they put it, disabled individuals or members of the community. While Medicaid is a jointly federally funded program, so it's jointly federal and jointly state program for those that are considered low-income individuals, okay, with different eligibilities in different states. So again, Medicare is federally funded insurance, Medicaid is state funded and federally, both, a little bit of both, and they both have different requirements in order for you to qualify. Medicare, in Spanish, I call it Medicare. Medicare. Medicare is for those individuals mainly that are 65 and older. Okay, they're 65 and older. Some of us, like myself, that are younger, we get the Medicare also strictly based on disability and the fact that we have worked, so we have paid into our Medicare, and it definitely you are considered eligible under specific medical conditions. Okay, it provides standard coverage across the board, including hospital stays, medication. We always hear about this Part A, Part B. So hospital stays, medical services, prescriptions. You have different advantage plans for a little bit more coverage. You have the same way you have premiums, you have deductibles, you have things that you have to pay out of pocket, right? Co-insurances and all these different things. And so in addition to that, when you talk about Part A and Part B of the Medicare specifically, Part A coverage of Medicare really depends also on your work history, your current situation with your employment, and how much you are making. A lot of times how much we make is what oftentimes disqualifies us from receiving this particular benefit, right? Then you have Medicaid. So first we went into Medicare, then you have Medicaid, which is a joint federal and state program, really known to all of us that don't know better, a state program, right? Because it goes by state, but there is some federal funding that is included in there, okay? And those are for individuals with limited resources or low income, right? So Medicaid is for those of us that are considered quote unquote low income, okay? And each state administers their own program within the federal guidelines of their particular state, okay? And the benefits vary. The benefits are different because the regulations are different, because the program is handled different state to state, okay? And so if you are one that has Medicaid, Medicaid often covers whatever Medicare does not cover. Does it always cover it? Absolutely not. But the idea is that it will cover whatever Medicare does not cover, okay? It often covers services, for example, nursing home care, personal care services, in-home supports, and long-term care. So when it comes to those long-term care, in-home supports, and nursing home services, the requirement is that you have to apply for Medicaid and qualify for Medicaid, that state-funded insurance program, in order to qualify for these in-home supports. Meaning you need somebody to help you clean. You need someone to help you do laundry. You need someone to help with personal care, shower, medication administration, all those personal care duties, if you will. You have to be a recipient of Medicaid in order to qualify for these in-home supports. So the way I see it, Medicare covers, she's the big mama, right? And she covers the hospital stays, the big things. And there goes Medicaid covering whatever Mama Bear doesn't cover, which is equally important because it's expensive. The same way, you can have Medicare and Medicaid, and there's things that neither one of them cover. I'll give you an example. This really literally just happened to me. I just got glasses. It's partially why I wore them. I just got glasses. Even though I have full Medicare and I have quote unquote full Medicaid, it is assumed that I am fully covered for all my healthcare needs, right? However, when you get Medicaid and you go into, they make you go into specific plans, right? And that's a whole nother thing, but they make you go into specific plans unless you tell them, hey, I need to have straight Medicaid. Whatever plan that you are in now may not cover certain things. In my case, it doesn't cover expenses for vision. So I have to pay, I recently had to pay my annual exam for my eyes. I had to pay for the contact lenses and the other test for contact lenses. So you get an annual test for your eyes. You get another test, annual test for your contact lenses. And I have stigmatism in one eye. So that's an additional charge. And then I have to pay for my glasses and I have to pay for my contact lenses. So at the end of all of that, it comes out to a couple $100. It's pretty expensive. And so I didn't know, I wasn't aware that somewhere along the lines, my plan had changed to where once upon a time, I had insurance for my vision related expenses, and now I don't. So now I have to circle back, go back to my plan and see what I can do to make sure that my vision expenses are covered. Okay. One expense that I know is not going to be covered no matter how much, I advocate for it is my contact lenses, because the contact lenses is considered luxury, right? It's considered cosmetic in the literal sense. So that's not going to be covered. So that's fine. I'll pay the contact lenses, but I definitely need them to pay the test and everything else, because that comes out to be very expensive. And if I have insurance, there's no reason why I should be paying for these things out of pocket. So those are things that we have to be mindful of and be careful for and be aware of more than anything when selecting these different programs for our insurance coverage. Okay. So when we go into cost and coverage, that's, what is covered, what is paid for under these insurances, Medicare costs, you're going to have expenses either way you look at it. It's never going to be zero expenses, right? Because you're going to have your monthly cost, your premiums, your Part B premium, which is about a little over $200, Part B premium for 2026, deductibles, co-insurance payments. You're going to, more than likely have all of that. Even individuals like myself that were born with this particular disability, and we should be fully covered with Medicare and Medicaid. We're not, unfortunately. And so then, however, for these instances that we're not fully covered, there are those, what do they call them? Those supplemental plans. They are supplemental plans that are available out there, like my Medicare in this case, and the specific groups that they call them, in order to make sure that these things are fully covered. In my experience, nothing is fully covered, as I mentioned, but that they are out there. So again, that's just a little explanation of the Medicare and the Medicaid and all that good stuff. And then you have dual eligibility. dual is double, right? So some people qualify for both Medicare and Medicaid, like myself. I have both Medicare and Medicaid, and then some. I have three. Medicare, Medicaid, Medicaid waiver. But let's talk about the Medicare and Medicaid. That is known as a dual case, right? So in that dual case, meaning I have both, Medicare pays both. I'm sorry, Medicare pays first. Any expense, any hospital stay, any treatment, any medication, any of that. Medicare pays first. Whatever Medicare doesn't cover, Medicaid covers. I mentioned medication. I take that back because Medicare doesn't necessarily cover medication. My Medicaid normally would. Thank God I don't take medication on a day-to-day basis. But Medicaid would come in and pay for that medication if need be. Maybe there's a infection, UTI, something that is not permanent, a medication that is temporary. It's more likely to get covered and paid for than something that is permanent, unfortunately. But again, from my experience, because I don't take medication, it's usually been the temporary medication of some sort, nothing right now. So Medicare pays first, and then Medicaid comes into play. Gotcha? All right. So for those of you that are just logging on, we're talking about the differences between Medicare and Medicaid. What do they all mean? What do they cover, and what don't they cover? And I feel like this is important information for everyone, because again, you never know who's going to need the information. You never know who's going to need the help. But those with disabilities and those who are elderly. Okay. Now, one thing that's important is that just because you have a disability, just because you became disabled later in life, just because you maybe had a traumatic brain injury, a spinal cord injury, maybe you now struggle with mental health disorder, that doesn't automatically qualify you for Medicare or Medicaid. It's a lot harder to obtain any of these when you become disabled later in life versus when you are born with a disability. And that's very unfortunate because when you become disabled later in life, you have a life, you have a history, you've worked, you've made your money, you have money probably, you have savings, you have all these things. And so now it becomes that much harder for you to qualify because of your assets, right? And it's like, okay, I still have this disability. I still need my insurance. I still need my medication. I still need my coverage. Yes. But unfortunately, the powers that be see more of what you have than anything else. They see what you have financially and more than they see your now disability or your condition. How many cars do you have? How many homes you own? All of that. The more you have, the less you get. Does that make sense? The more you have in houses and assets and money and business and all that, the less you get when it comes to these type of benefits. And that's unfortunate because I always talk about it and I say that it's you have to be at poverty level and you have to be severely disabled in order to get any of these services. And for me, it's like, why can't I have the best of both worlds? Why can't I be someone that works, that is independent to the best of my ability, that's making money, and qualify for these services, right? Like, allow me to pay into these things, into these services, and have both because it's necessary. That's my forever battle. That is my forever battle. Okay, so, Avery, I see you. Thank you for joining. And so then again, so Medicare, age or disability based, okay? Medicare is age based, 65 and over, or based on your disability. Federal, standardized coverage, and the costs, right? The cost of everything medically speaking. And then Medicaid is income based. So if you make more than $35,000 a year and you're trying to apply for Medicaid and qualify, you might not. There's ways around it. There's things to report. There's medical expenses. There's all these different things. There is your cost of living, the cost of living. There's so many things that are taken into consideration when telling you whether you qualify for Medicaid or not. Okay, so it is income based. It is administered by the state. So the state that you live in puts in the income requirements for this particular service of the Medicaid. Okay, it is minimum wage, minimum wage specific, if you will. It combines both programs. When you go into the dual eligibility, like myself, in a sense, then you can maybe qualify for both programs, the Medicaid and the Medicare. It combines both programs for those who qualify for that coverage. And what that does is that it helps to eliminate out-of-pocket expenses, right? The more coverage you have, the less out-of-pocket expenses that you have, right? So for me, again, because I have the Medicaid and the Medicare, I don't have a lot of out-of-pocket expenses. I have minimal because sometimes I get what they call out-of-network doctors, right? When you're in these programs of the Medicare and the Medicaid, there's in-network providers, in-network everything. So if you stay within the network, if you choose a doctor or whatnot on their list, then you're good. You have no further expenses. Me, of course, because of the changes, if I already have doctors outside of network that work for me, that have kept me good and have worked according to my needs and my medical conditions, I'm going to keep those doctors. So that's why sometimes I have out-of-pocket and out-of-network expenses, because I have decided to keep those doctors. And that happens a lot when you transition from pediatric, which is doctors for children under 18, I believe, into adulthood. When you go into those changes, we don't know about all these things. We don't know about, I have to consult my Medicaid or my Medicare to see if this doctor is covered. We don't know that. Nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you. So that's why sometimes we fall into having out-of-network doctors, because we don't know that we have to seek those that are in network. And other times, again, because they're good doctors. So we keep them, right? Excuse me. And that is okay. So Medicare, Medicaid. Now, under both programs, there's other supplementary benefits to having such programs, right? So I can tell you for Medicare, they give us what they call these benefit cards, right? They give you your benefit cards, so you have extra money on that card. You have a utility card. You have a grocery card, right? So I know people that receive a card where they get, I don't know, maybe close to $290, $300, and they can use that to pay the house phone, internet, the cable, etc., and that's what it is used for, right? So it's supplementary, so it helps you pay those bills that otherwise would be a little difficult for you, being that unfortunately a lot of people are stuck or mandated to be in a lower income level, because if we make more money, we lose these benefits. A lot of times it's not that we want, I would dare to say ever, it's never that we want to live with these benefits. It's never that we want to live being limited. It's that if we go over the income limit, if we go over if we don't follow the rules, if you will, then these benefits go away. They are taken away. And once they are taken away, then it becomes more of an issue, right? A hard time for individuals that need it. So some might say, well, why would you be limited for a card, to receive a card of $290, $300 to just help you pay for, a phone bill, right? Like, because it helps. Any little bit helps. It could be the phone bill. It could be electricity. It could be grocery. Grocery has gotten really expensive. So it's important to be knowledgeable of these things that are out there to help you, that are out there to live the best life that you can live, right? And that's what it's all about. So that's the difference between Medicare and Medicaid, and those of us that receive both Medicare and Medicaid. And at some point, they each have what they call open enrollment. So when you know the times during the year of the open enrollment programs, then you can call and say, hey, I'm not okay, or I don't agree with the insurance plan that I'm in. Can you help me switch it to something else? But that comes with self-educating and being prepared and doing and studying the different programs that are available according to your needs, according to your disability. Okay, so for me, there's two things that I need that I really don't get. I don't get any coverage for vision, and I don't get any coverage really for dental. Both of those are out of pocket. And whatever Medicaid does pay for dental, it's not the best. Medicaid providers is not in the best environments for dental. So those two things are out of pocket expenses for me, right? And so that is, it's hard to find doctors that are good doctors that you can afford more than anything. And it's not fair. I go back to the same thing. It's not fair because I have all this insurance, all this coverage. I'm limited in different areas because I need to keep these coverages, and yet I can't have it without paying out of pocket. How that makes sense? How does that make sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. But it is what it is. All right. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's the differences between the Medicare and the Medicaid. Now, I have talked about another one briefly, that is the Medicaid waiver program. Again, that is a supplementary program, which I'm on, as well. That is a supplementary program for individuals with specific developmental disabilities. So if you're a mom and you're a dad, you're a caregiver, you're a family member caring for a child with a developmental disability, spina bifida, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, and there's a few more. But if you have someone with a developmental disability, you want to make sure that you go through Florida Kid Care here in Florida, early steps, any of those early intervention programs, and apply for this Medicaid waiver program. The reason that you want to apply as early as possible, as early as the eligibility process allows you to, is because there is a long waiting list. There's a long waiting list of a couple years. And so even though the child may be covered now, because they at the baby age, at a young age, they are under the coverage of their mother and father's insurance, you want to do it now because of the waiting list, because as the child gets older and they become an adult, this insurance is going to come into place. It's going to really, really benefit them. So a lot of times we look at the now, well, we don't need it now. We're okay now. And we don't worry about the later. We want to worry about the later more than we want to worry about the now in that particular instance. And I'll never forget, I had a state representative say to me, I was advocating in the Senate, and the state representative said to me, oh, well, you have Medicaid and Medicaid waiver now, right? I said, yes, I have it now. But I'm worried about when my family's no longer around, when my parents are no longer around, what am I going to do? And her response to me was, you're okay now, that's all that matters. And she shut me down. That's the problem that we have. So if our leaders in that area can't see it, then it's our responsibility to think about the now, but also think about the future. So you want to get your child enrolled in the Medicaid waiver as soon as possible. Get them enrolled in Medicaid. That's part of my job. That's part of what I do in helping you understand the differences and helping you understand if you and your family qualifies. And even if you think, you know what, I make too much money, don't disqualify yourself. Don't disqualify your child thinking that you make too much money, because there are different requirements that you might not be aware of that qualify you regardless of your income, or that may minimize, if you will, make your income lower because of medical deductions and different things. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's all I'm saying. Where there is a will, there is a way. For sure. So never disqualify yourself, never disqualify your child from the opportunity or from the possibility of qualifying for any of these services, any of it. All right. And just apply and do what you can as soon as possible, because again, It takes time. You have to submit paperwork. You have to go through the requirements and the guidelines. You have to have meetings. You have to do all these things that you want to be prepared for. Okay, so that's super important, to be prepared for everything that comes your way as it pertains to all of these benefits. As you go along, as you begin to apply, as you begin to qualify, then you'll learn that there's other things that you may qualify. Okay, well, now I'm receiving Medicare and Medicaid. Now I know about the Medicaid waiver program. Okay, now what about food stamps? What about long-term care? What about in-home supports? What about possible housing of some sort? Florida doesn't really have much in regards to housing, but maybe there's something there that you could qualify for with housing through the Medicaid waiver program, because there's supported living, there's group homes, there's different things that your individual with a developmental disability can qualify for, right? So that's why it's very important to, I always say this too, it is very important, one, to know what your disability is. Know what your child's disability is. I talked to someone yesterday, a grown adult, and I asked her, what is your disability? She said, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? And she said, I don't know. And as she started to talk about it and say different things, I'm like, oh, okay. So it's kind of like I have to help her in this case, and a lot of clients really figure out what their disability is. So I need you to do your homework. What is your diagnosis? Whatever you want to call it. Your disability, your diagnosis, your medical condition, whatever it is. Whatever that thing is that impairs your ability to do something of some sort, that's your disability. If you have an IEP, a 504, a psychological report, that'll let you know what your diagnosis is. A lot of times we see it as a label, but a label is going to get you to the next level of services. Do we want that label? And because we want to be known for that? No, absolutely not. But that label is going to help you get the services that you need. So you need to have that diagnosis. You need to have that quote unquote label to help you get any of these services that we are talking about. Okay, so that's something that I want us to work on, is not to be ashamed or scared of that label, because that's all it is. It is a thing, a name, a label on a piece of paper. It doesn't determine who you are. It doesn't, it's not your identity. I say now, it's a part of who you are. My spina bifida is a part of who I am, but it's not who I am. It's not my identity. Okay. However, it is important, it is necessary rather, in order for me to be able to get the help that I need in different areas of life, such as life. It's okay. It's okay. And that very thing that I was so upset about, so angry about, and why me and you, we go through all these mental things. That's the very thing that is going to be a part of your life to change your life for the better. And that's what we want, right? So embrace it first by recognizing your diagnosis. Once you recognize your diagnosis, you begin to know, how do I need help? What do I need? How can I live my best life, a better life with my disability? With what services? And once you start seeking and you start finding out, oh, okay, these services are available. I can have a job coach. I can have a life coach. I can do supported employment. I can do supported living. I can have somebody help me with my application. Maybe writing and reading is difficult for you, so you need help filling out an application. You need help applying for some service. Something like that, considered to be something very small. To the biggest thing, to a bigger issue. I need help at home. I need help moving around. I need somebody to help me brush my teeth. I need help getting ready for work. I need to find a job. I need training. But unless you know your diagnosis, you won't know how to be able to help yourself, to then be able to know where to seek this help that you need. So your diagnosis is important. What is your disability? What help do you need? And how do you seek the help that you need to become the best version of yourself in spite of that particular disability or diagnosis? Once you have all that, once we have that down packed, if you will, then it becomes easier to understand and to know the differences of Medicare and Medicaid and Medicaid waiver and all these different things that we need. It becomes easier. And yeah. and I can talk to you guys in that regard because of my personal life experiences. And I always remember how I started to where I am now. And it is a big difference. But it's because I've been open to learning, open to training, open to self-acceptance, self-awareness. It's okay. And open to that idea, to understanding that it's okay. It's okay. It truly is okay. It's going to be all right. All right. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys today with the differences between Medicare and Medicaid. Pastor Akio, good evening. Thank you for joining. And those of you that are on that I haven't said hello to you. Thank you for joining as well. As we've been talking about the differences with Medicare versus Medicaid, how to apply and how to do all these different things with an understanding of what is Medicare, what is Medicaid, and how do I apply. And then we worry about how do I keep it, right? And you have to just go through the requirements and it'll tell you in order to continue receiving this service, you have to do X, Y, Z. Talked about that a little bit as well. And yeah, so never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid to ask the questions. Ask questions. You don't know what you don't know. I always say that you don't know what you don't know. So make sure that you ask the questions. Find somebody that can help you. Find someone that you feel comfortable with asking this information, that you can say, okay, this person might know something. Let me find out, right? And so if you are someone that needs help and you need information, you need guidance, sometimes it's just a simple question. Sometimes it's help with an application. Please visit my website, DPT, for Disability Programs Training, dptmanagement.org. dptmanagement.org. You are welcome to give me a call and I can schedule a consultation with you to discuss your particular or your specific case and how I can help you and what resources are available to you. So you're more than welcome to call me, 954-529-4586, 954-529-4586. I'm a caller, okay? If you email me, I'll get to you eventually, but I'm a caller. So feel free to call me, text the same way, and I will be more than happy to help you and answer any questions that you might have. So stay informed, stay connected to those that can help you be the best version of yourself. So if you are someone that lives with a disability, you know someone that lives with a disability. Remember we talked about it's not always just about us, but you don't know who you can help. You know, sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, who you can help, who you can provide a piece of information, a resource to help them, right? So if you or anyone you know lives with a disability, is not sure if they live with a disability, but they know they need some kind of help, share this information, share this video with them, share that contact information with them. And if there's somebody that's in need of advocacy, so someone to be a voice for them, someone that knows the do's and don'ts and the laws of different areas of life, whether it's education, employment, community living, these insurances that we talked about, sometimes it's just being a voice, okay? A voice to help that voice be heard. Let them know that that's one of the services that we provide. Government benefits is a big one. You need help applying for Social Security Disability, SSI, Medicaid, Medicare, long-term care, in-home supports, veterans out there, disabled veterans, you need assistance. All of that is available to you. Again, sometimes it's a simple phone number, information and resources, guidance, all right, community inclusion. I'm huge on community inclusion. I'm huge on making sure that people know that we belong, that we are one, we are a community. Speaking of community, this Saturday coming up, we will be having our second annual Walk, Run, and Roll for Inclusion. Walk, Run, and Roll for Inclusion, courtesy of Disability Programs and Training and Bliss 82. It's our second year. Last year was really, really cool. It will be this Saturday at 9 a.m. in C.B. Smith Park in Hollywood. CB Smith Park in Hollywood. I encourage you guys to come out. Go out there to me. I'm always on this side of the world, so now you guys go out to me over there. It's going to be a fun time. Last year was really awesome, and it's a moment where people come out, people with and without disabilities, and we walk for the cause. We walk for the cause to say, listen, we're here. We need activity. We matter. We walk. We run. And if you're in a wheelchair, you roll with it. You roll. It's not a competition. Everybody loves to compete, but it's just a fun time to come out and be in community. And it's going to be interesting because we're going to have a special guest visitor. Her name is Khalila Ali, and she's known to be the first wife of Muhammad Ali. Everybody knows Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer there ever was, right? So she'll be out there with us signing autographs and all that good stuff. And people truly have enjoyed her in other events that we have had. So come on out, TY Park. I'll post the information on my social media. It's Yes with Yesse across the board. Yes with Yesse. So you guys can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I will be posting as always. So I encourage you guys to come out. All right, it's going to be this Saturday coming up at 9 a.m. at TY Park in Hollywood. In Hollywood. All right, so that's one example of a community inclusion related event that we host on an annual basis. And then we have independent living skills, employment services, mentorship, and that's always one of my favorites because we get to mentor other individuals with disabilities that sometimes all we need is guidance. All right, we didn't get a manual in this thing called life. We just need a little push. We need a little help. I am a living testimony of what mentorship does or can do for someone, from little old me, not really knowing what was going to be of my life, kind of, scared and ashamed of my disability, to now using my disability to empower others with disabilities through my program, through my company, Disability Programs and Training. So to know that I get to make an impact and make a living doing what I love, doing what so many counted me out from, is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty amazing. So that's what mentorship can do to you. My favorite quote is, believe in somebody's believe in you until your belief kicks in. So let us be those people for you. Let me be that person for you to believe in you until your belief kicks in, because you matter. You have talent, skills, and abilities. And I know for all of us, we just want to be included in this thing called community, right? So thank you guys so much for joining. I truly appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next week on another episode of Yes with Yesse, here, courtesy of New Season Gospel FM. Make sure you subscribe across social media and YouTube to New Season Gospel FM. All one word. All one word. All right. And so I want to encourage you guys to give, and support your number one gospel station, New Season Gospel FM. And we're a global station. That's what I love so much, because you never know where anyone is listening from. So no matter where you are listening from, you can also give and show your support wherever you are listening from. All right. And my prayer is that you share this video and let encourage those people in the community where you live, that there's something for everyone. People with disabilities matter. We're here to stay. The numbers are growing every single day. We are child of God as well. And the help is here. The inclusion is here. The voice is here. All right. So I want to encourage you, no matter where you are, to give, to show your support to New Season Gospel FM. All right. And if you're always familiar with the giving information, as we mention it, Cash App, New Season WZ. That's Cash App, $ New Season WZ. Zelle 954-536-1821. And you have PayPal, you have all the other ways to give. All right. So no matter where you are, make sure that you please support your number one gospel station, New Season Gospel FM. All right. So on that note, I want to encourage you to join us on Sunday for Palm Sunday here at New Season Worship Center, 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida, 33351. If you're not in the area, join us online. New Season Gospel FM and I, yours truly, will be on the other side of the screen with you as we go live on our Sunday morning service, Palm Sunday. Always a blessing, and always a blessing to see everyone here together as we should be, because we are one. We are one community, all right? So you are all welcome here. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. On that note, have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week on another episode of Yes with Yesse. Hi, this is Yesse Leva, host of Yes with Yesse. Join me every Thursday at 6 p.m. for information, resources, and services available to individuals with disabilities in our community.
When